Thank you all for your years, some of you, of commitment to our teams and our programs. Stay standing, please. Led by you, our teams have excelled on and off the court, field, pool, track, whatever it might be. So thank you for all that you've done for our programs. You can sit down. Thank you to Mr. Heil and digital media. If you're in digital media and you're here tonight, can you guys stand up, please? We also have a little slideshow of them. These guys promote Guardian. These guys promote Guardian athletics in so many ways. ESPN, posters, flyers, videos, basically whatever I ask, they do it for us, and more. They do more than I ask. So I think, in my opinion, we have the best stuff out there. I've looked all throughout the region, other athletics websites. We have the best stuff out there, and so thank you guys for all that you do. A special thank you to Mr. Creech for the extra work that he does. Specifically, I'm not going to... Should I make him stand up? Stand up, Mr. Creech. And stay standing. For the extra work that he does, specifically designs for ACSC the past 2 years. He also helped with designs when we were renovating the athletics building, and really anything that I ask him to do, he's done. And it's all just volunteer. He does it without getting compensated anyway, and just wants to contribute. So thank you, Mr. Creech. Parents, would you stand up? Parents are always a little nervous to stand up. Yes, if you're a coach and a parent, you stand up too, yes. Thank you all for everything that you do. You lend us your children, and you've done a great job raising them, and it's an honor for us to be able to be a small part of their lives, so thank you all so much for all that you do. Dads, you can sit down. Now, if your mom is still standing up, I want you to come up front and get one of these roses and take it to them. If your mom is standing up right now, come up front and get a rose. It is Mother's Day on Sunday, sorry. Moms, you have a special place in our hearts. And you can sit down now if you want to. Also, the moms are a special group to me because they really are the engine behind the Booster Club. And just in the last 2 years, I feel like Booster Club has really taken off. And so thank you all for the hours that you've put in at concession stands and meetings and different things to help promote Guardian athletics. You guys are an amazing support. Thank you all so much. Let's hear it one time for the Booster Club parents. We are looking forward to that concession stand, and I'm determined to make it happen. And finally, thank you to Mrs. Hale. for always being my right hand, because usually I don't know what I'm doing. So she helps me figure out what I'm doing. So thank you, Mrs. Hale. And she makes things pretty. Like, anyway, I can't do that stuff. She's awesome. Let me just review some of our accomplishments this season. They are many this season, these 2 seasons. The girls' basketball team beat Osan away. That's a huge accomplishment. Sue Lee broke the single-season steals record. Yeah. And she continues to approach some of those career records. We'll see what she does next year. One more year to break some of those. The boys' team won the preseason tournament over KIS, SIS, and TCIS. You can see that hardware up there. They also had a huge win at home against SFS. That's always a big win. So good job, guys. The cheer team, where are they? When I say cheer team, I expect to hear something, okay? The cheerleaders came out of nowhere to take 3rd place at competition. They surprised everyone, including themselves, so congratulations to the girls. Our swimmers, where are the swimmers at? They participated in the first ever ACSC swim meet, and the girls brought home the gold. You can see that trophy up there. Combined for the kayak season, this is boys and girls combined, the team finished 2nd overall, and that is the highest ever in history, so congratulations to them. Along the way, GU, Rebecca, and Kelly devastated our swimming record board, and Danny. I had to throw Danny in there, so and some of our relay teams, but congratulations to the swimmers. In soccer, the boys had a bit of a confusing season. So so good. They lost to GSIS and beat SAS. I don't understand, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But congratulations to the boys on that big win against SAS. The girls pulled off some great feats, beating SAS at SAS. That's an amazing feat, especially on that massive field. And then coming back to draw against SFS at home, that was an amazing match to watch. So congratulations. The combination of Sue and Dora in the middle are going to be a handful for anyone next year, even if they're playing against their former coach. I had to say it. So watch out. Track and field emerged as a strong program in its first official year. Where's the track team? They had a great showing at the ACSC track meet and kayak season, finishing in the top 3 for boys and girls in both of these events. So a great first season, and I think if the kayak championship got canceled because of air quality, but I think we would have finished even better than that if we had been able to compete there. Samson found his niche, coming in first in kayak for shot put and discus. Gayun earned her reputation as the fastest girl at YIS in her sprint and hurdle events. Linda finished up second in both the 1600 and 3200. Both Andy and Jungin had solid finishes in the long jump. I think they both finished somewhere in the top 5. And the relay teams always were competing for first or second place. So congratulations to the track team. So overall, it's been an awesome season of accomplishments. But what's it really about? And that's what I want to talk about just for a few minutes. Is it about coming to the end of the season, to the banquet, and patting ourselves on the back for all the good things we've done? The question is rhetorical, obviously, because if that is the end purpose of sports, then we have lost. We've lost games, time, effort, sweat, and a host of other things in the course of the season. What makes us win, then? In Luke 12, Jesus shares a very applicable parable. Maybe you've heard it before. It says, "And he told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man yielded an abundant harvest. He thought to himself, 'What shall I do? I have no place to store all my crops.' Then he said, 'This is what I'll do. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. And then I will store my surplus grain. And I'll say to myself, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy. Eat, drink, and be merry.' But God said to him, 'You fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich toward God.'" What I have grown to respect about our teams is this very thing. Our coaches really believe Proverbs 22:1, "A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold." I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that many of our teams have this reputation. The swimming team consistently earns the Spirit Award, almost a shoe-in every year. Both basketball teams earned this recognition from other kayak schools as well. We, as a program, have this reputation. The definition of winning for a Guardian is and should be opposed to the world's definition of winning. We don't win unless we have made an impact in something more than things that will pass away. These things up here are things that will pass away. So as you receive your awards tonight, I don't want to downplay your accomplishments. That's not the point. You have earned them. But if they are the end in themselves, you are squandering them. Use them. Use your riches. Use your talents. Use your accomplishments to make an impact on eternity. If you aren't sure how, ask your coaches. Jesus desires that everything we do make an impact on eternity, and that includes sports. At this time, we will proceed with the team awards presentations. When you see your team's picture on the screen, please come up and stand on the stage together so everyone is able to get a good look at you. So the whole team comes up when your team slide comes on the screen. Coaches will then briefly comment on the season and hand out their awards. So if we could get that first slide up there. And I'm not going to come back up, so when one team ends, the next team can go ahead and come up.
All right, good evening. This is your cheer team for this year, 2016-2017. I'm Miss Palmer, the coach from this year. So the season started out a bit challenging as we had new members making up over half of our team, as well as me, a brand new coach, trying to make a great season for us. As the season went on, we found our strengths and built ourselves up as a team. And when we got to the kayak competition in February, we had no idea what to expect from the other teams. A challenge to competing against others in cheer is that our season has no stats and we have no former competition before the final competition. This is why our motto for this year was compete against yourself. And that's exactly what we did in the kayak competition. And in the end, we came out with our third place overall competition. And we had two members, Samantha Lee, and Vanessa Shim. And these two girls received all kayak awards as well. Tonight I'm going to be presenting 4 awards on stage. The first one I'll be presenting is the Guardian Award. So this award goes to someone who represents the school best on and off the court or field or mat in our case. And this player shows the most pride in their school and team. This award this year is going to Yuna Lee. The next one I'd like to present, once my phone turns back around, is the Spirit Award. The Spirit Award goes to the player who best embodies the character of Christ on and off the mat, and they are a spiritual leader for the team. This award this year is going to Vanessa Shim. Okay. The next one I'd like to give is our MVP award, Most Valuable Player on the team. This player contributes the most to the success of the team as a whole, and this award is going to Samantha Lee. Our coaches award goes to the player who is the floor leader on the team. The player is an example with their attitude and play. Sometimes off season, though, they don't always make it to things on time. So this award goes to Sarah Shiraji, and she's walking in the door right now, so she can come and accept this award. Okay. This was her motivation to get people to practice on time. She kept telling us, we're going to hate on you. So I guess the team's going to hate on her now. These are our awards for the cheer team, so can you give them one more round of applause? Thank you.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Try not to blink because that's about how big we were most of the season. Okay. We played the first half of the season with 6 players. So it was one of those that these guys had to learn quick. how to get things going. So we did, they had to learn how to play a whole game, substituting a lot and learning how to play other positions, which isn't always easy. I'm Coach Weekly. Okay, this is our rather large team, and we do actually have 2 missing. But this season, the JV team suffered through small numbers and injuries, yet the team endured and showed sheer determination in their desire to grow as basketball players. After 3 tough losses, very tough losses in the beginning, as they're over there laughing, the growth in each player was clear when the team's battle with Saws ended in a loss. But it was a much closer competitive game than we had had all season. This loss inspired the team to continue battling and learning. As a result, the team went into the kayak tournament, having not won any games yet, okay, but with the confidence and hope for their first win. The second game of the day was a first fierce battle with Chadwick. Now, I need to describe this game just a little bit, okay, as they're still cracking up about this one. First quarter, okay, it's not a high-scoring affair. It was 6-2, okay. At the end of quarter 2, at halftime, it was still 6-2. Okay. Quarter 3, okay, it's now 6-5, okay. Exactly. So it's, our scoring efforts, we had them, just couldn't quite make them. The end result ended up 6-5. Okay? So we had all our points in the first quarter. So they're over there still can't believe it themselves. But it was a very competitively defensive battle that they put on. They did not let Chadwick past half court for probably 90% of the game. So as it was, we did take a picture of that scoreboard, made sure that we got that so we had proof, okay, that we did actually get a win on this one, okay, and they went quite happy about that. It seemed as though each player endured through pain, busted fingers, dislocated shoulders, cleaning up the floor. We won't name names, right, Gene? You have to understand, she's also, if we had a wrestling program, she probably would have went out for that one as well, okay? She had more wrestling matches than most guys do in a whole season, okay? She was on the floor a lot with them. And fought hard for every minute of the clock ticked, and even had our first player of the season foul out, and that too was Gene, okay? When the final buzzer rang, the team was elated to have defeated Chadwick and taken home their first win of the season. The season ended a week later with Sophia's last-second foul shots tying the game and giving their team the highest scoring game and holding on for the tie, okay, against Saws. So for a team that had trouble in the beginning of the season, okay, we came back and decided we were going to be competitive. So it was a tribute to these ladies. All right, it was my absolute pleasure to have been their coach this year. Okay, first, Guardian Award. Okay, this lady challenged herself this season to be the best she could be. She worked hard at each practice and did not miss a practice, and would spend time at home practicing techniques as well. She endured through games with numerous injuries and played despite the pain. Mia was often heard saying, "You need me, I can do it." If she was exhausted and hurt, she'd still be out there. Mia started each game with a laugh and a reminder of which basket was ours. That has a whole new thing on it because we had to remind her a few times which basket we were actually shooting at. So Mia in the Guardian Award. This next one is the Spirit Award. Actually had to coax this one to come out to play. I didn't originally start with this person, and she hadn't played basketball before. So it was a bit of a challenge in the beginning, and she wasn't sure she was going to be able to fit. We made sure she was going to. But this one had the energy and life of the team. Initially, she didn't even start with us. We had to persuade her to even give basketball a try. We're sure glad we did, though. Okay. The effort and hustle was always present. She would tell that basketball was not her sport, but that did not stop her from giving it all during practices and games. Okay. She's also known as our sweeper because she wanted to take the custodian's job of cleaning the floor, usually with the other player. Okay. The Spirit Award goes to Jane Warren.
Teams, you guys are free to use the risers if that makes the team pictures easier. It might help.
All right. We have our JV boys basketball team. We've got most of our members here this evening. Myself and Dr. Banaszewski were assistant coaches. Unfortunately, Coach Garrick is unable to be with us this evening as he had a death in the family, and so the Garrick family will be traveling. Please be keeping them in prayer. But it's been a privilege and a pleasure to coach these young men this year, watching them grow as a team from the time that we started practice at the beginning of the year. And watching them all the way progress throughout the season. You can see our season results up on the board, 2-11. But the record doesn't tell the whole story. First of all, we had a winning streak. Yeah. Especially coming back after the holidays, which is a difficult thing to do. And then we were probably about 30 seconds and 2 points short of doubling our victories. Probably the toughest losses for us were 1 point losses back to back in the period of about 12 hours, probably the most difficult 12 hours. But I have to say that I'm insanely proud of these young men because they showed perseverance and endurance throughout the entire season. Losing a game on your home court by 1 point on the last shot is not an easy thing to take. There was definitely a lot of disappointment in that locker room, but these young men came back out the next morning to compete and to give it everything that they had. And for that, I think that says a lot about your character as a team. And so I know I speak for Coach Banaszewski and Coach Garrick when we say we're really proud of you and the way that you've developed over the year. It's something to hang your hat on and be proud of, and so hold your head high. And we have 2 awards that we're going to give out, the Guardian Award and the Spirit Award. And so that you can hear from somebody other than me, Coach Banaszewski is going to present the Guardian Award.
When Coach Fisher and I were going over the awards and trying to determine who the recipient should be, one of the things that we came to the conclusion of is that we wanted to look at our basketball season as a journey. And really what we wanted to do, we wanted to recognize the people who had grown and had matured and had changed and had developed over the course of time. So for us, this was about where you ended up as a person, as a player, as a teammate. And the person that I want to present the Guardian Award to tonight was someone who we recognized journeyed through the season as a player, as a leader, and as a person, contributing to the team, encouraging his teammates, being a mentor to them and leading them, and also growing himself as both as a player and as a person and as a leader. And I'd like to present the Guardian Award to Kevin Lee.
Yeah, Kevin! Yeah, Kevin! We love Kevin!
The Spirit Award goes to a young man that likewise has gone through that journey. It's been a joy and a pleasure to watch this player develop from last season into this season, and even throughout this season, watching that player develop. I've watched them during games to encourage their teammates. They were part of, I think, what led to us having a defensive resurgence, watching them kind of direct people into their positioning, and really had a passion for the game. And that paid off. He put in a lot of extra hours and a lot of hard work, and he made some choices, difficult choices, to give up some things in order to focus on that. And I would constantly find him encouraging and telling guys good job when they would do things on the court. Unfortunately, that young man is not here this evening, but we are giving the Spirit Award to Caleb Garrick.
All right. Always the fun stuff. Why are you guys so far away? I put on deodorant and I did. This is our girls varsity basketball team. And really quick before we get into things, I want to go ahead and thank a couple of people. Just want to thank Mr. Hale. Thank you very much for your support, just for your help and being able to bounce ideas and stuff off of you. Thank you, Mr. Banishevsky, for allowing us to get out of class early. Thank you to the boosters. You guys are fantastic. Just every once in a while providing drinks and food and just always being a smiling face, catching me sometimes while I'm freaking out. And just smiling and just saying, hey, good afternoon. That was always very, very much encouraged. So thank you very much. Thank you to the cheer team. Cheer team, where are you guys at? The swim team did better. Thank you to the cheer team. And also thank you to the other coaches, Mr. Lynch, Mr. Baker, Mr. Weekly, just for all your guys' help with stuff too. And to the parents, none of this is possible without the parents. Thank you just for, we say it sometimes jokingly, it's like, thank you for lending us your kids for a couple of months, but we really do appreciate it. This basketball season, I look at it as like, it is the highlight of my year. If I didn't coach, I don't know what I would be doing. So thank you very much. Recap of this year. We have 1 senior, 2 juniors, 3 sophomores, and 4 freshmen. Often when you go ahead and you say, hey, if this is your group of players that you have, you would be somewhat surprised, hey, how did your season really go? That's a really young team. Because a lot of people were wondering, it's like, hey, how do you replace some of these girls from last year? I'm like, with 4 fantabulous freshmen, with some great sophomores, with some people that are willing to go ahead and learn and willing to go ahead and give their absolute best and try their hardest and be willing to deal with me for 4 months. So, but we did really well this year, had some big wins, had victory at Osan, like Mr. Hale was saying. We had a huge come from behind, down 19 points in the third quarter against ICS Hong Kong at ACSC, and shocked them, ended up winning by 5 or 6. And it was kind of fun because the gym was completely empty. It was like the last game of the night. It's weird. It's like the game is getting stressful and there's nobody there to watch. And then all of a sudden, people started hearing there's little chatter here and there because they'd peek their head in. What's going on? Oh, my. And then all of a sudden, the stands started getting more and more full. And it was just so much fun to watch them just fight hard and having to deal with just height of other people and be able to go ahead and fight through that. So, so they just decided to make this year just a fabulous season. They chose to work together and chose to love each other. And that was the best part, I think, to watch, was just how much that you guys really decided, you know what, regardless of our differences, regardless of our grades, regardless our ability or sometimes just our struggles, that we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on doing this all together. And I think that's really what it's all about, is going ahead and just being a family. And that's what I really wanted to have. And you guys made it that way. So thank you very much, ladies. Do you want to say anything?
Okay, just to add a little on to that. You probably know this if you know these girls for like 3 seconds, but they're such hard workers. And I loved so much just the unity that was on this team. And when I decided to coach this year, be the assistant coach, I didn't know what to expect, but you girls just blew all of my expectations out of the water. And I love what happened this year and your dedication to the team and to each other, and for the seniors and the juniors to step up and mentor the underclassmen. You guys did a phenomenal job, and it was my pleasure to be the assistant coach for you girls. So great job. Proud of you.
All right. One person, 2 people that I also wanted to make sure that I thanked. The small folk. Sid, why aren't you up here? Sid, come on. Come on, Sid. We don't do any of this without our managers, so yes. We've got you some flowers.
We love you, Sid.
There you go.
You stink.
And then for Sonia Dunn, who is hiding or not here. Okay. All right. We also want to go ahead. I'll pass out some flowers to some others as we go. But we want to recognize a few awards. Sorry, Mr. Hill, for going over time. I talk a lot. Okay, let's go. Let's start with, where'd my notes go? Let's start with Coach's Award. Coach's Award. We went back and forth with this one. Coach's Award is, you got the definition in here, but we also wanted to make it we looked at it as most improved. Sometimes you go ahead and find most improved when someone goes down with an injury, and this person stepped on in, and I asked Rebecca to go ahead and play post against Saws, who has a 6'2" center, girl. And she's like, Coach, I've never played post. You'll figure it out. Just go get the ball. Okay. And she ended up with, I think, like 7 rebounds, I think, just in the second half. But anyways, our Coach's Award for this year, the player who's the floor leader of the team leads by example, and she really became a huge part and just energy and a spark. So, Rebecca. The Guardian Award is the person who represents the school the best on and off the court. We loved her enthusiasm. We loved the way that she went ahead and cheered for the rest of her team. We loved how much she just took pride in who we were as a girls basketball team. And I'm looking forward to another 2 years of coaching her, Guyun. Spirit Award, the player who best embodies the character of Christ on and off the court and field. It is hard to go ahead and step in as a new player and try to learn everything that a varsity coach will throw at you, and it is hard to do it as a senior, to not go ahead and play for your first 3 years and then say, you know what, I'm willing to go ahead and do this. One of the biggest things, if you want to say a way to embody the character of Christ, is willing to go ahead and sometimes be a servant and take a back seat. And that's really hard sometimes as a senior. We want to go ahead and lead. And she led in other ways. And she was go ahead and she was able to go ahead and encourage and uplift her teammates and be an encouragement even to Coach Honecker and I. So Spirit Award this year goes to Yuri. You'll understand in a minute. MVP. We were talking about this too, and just Sue. She has the new school record for steals in a season. She's going to be really, really close for steals in a career. She's really, really close for assists in a career. But we became a better team. We were a better team with her on the court, and she really learned how to go ahead and lead throughout the course of the year, and I'm really excited to see what her, Andre, you two, just to see how you guys help lead the team more and more next year. But MVP this year, Suli. You don't like hikes. By the way, she was also named, there's a small group called East Asia Elite. She was East Asia Elite Girls Player of the Year. One last person. Can you hand me that big one there? One last person that I need to thank, Miss Honecker. Thank you so much just for everything. All right. Girls, we'll give you your awards while you're sitting down. All right. Thank you very much. Picture. I can, right?
Is Mr. Rensburg here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's here? Yeah, come on up, please. Yeah, so first of all, we'll clap for these guys. First of all, I'd like to just second all the thank yous that Coach Davis just gave, for sure, for us as well. And I also want to thank the girls' team. I think we really we tried to. I think we did a good job of try to be one team, right? The guys and the girls. And so the girls were definitely a huge support for us. I don't know if we were as big a support as we could have been for the girls, but we'll try to do better next time. But I especially want to thank Mr. Rensburg and Coach Lynch as well. Both of these guys put in a lot of time and volunteered their time and knowledge, and they've got a lot of it. And so these guys made a huge impact on our team this year. And so I really, really appreciate that, and appreciate all the work that you both of you put in this year. Yeah. So this year we started the year with a theme of on purpose, and the goal in that was to help these guys understand that whatever we do, there's got to be purpose behind it. We we practice for a purpose. We spend time together for a purpose, and certainly there's a basketball purpose to it, that we want to become better basketball players. We want to become a better basketball team, and that should be our purpose, and then to take our improvements and let it show up on the court with the way that we play. And that certainly did this year. We made a huge step from last season to this season. All these guys except our little Johnny were all part of the program last year, and they all worked really hard throughout the all season, throughout the season, and got a lot better. And we can see from our record up there that we did, and that record's a little bit misleading because our regular season record was 11-7, and we were undefeated in non-conference play. So great job. Won the tournament at the beginning of the season as well. And so our next step is to improve in our tournament play, right, and do a little bit better job in that. But we lost a lot of close games. So I'm really proud of these guys. I'm proud of the way that they come. But when we're talking about purpose and we were having our team devotions, and the scripture that we started out with was Proverbs 19:21. It says, "Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it's the purpose of the Lord that will stand." And so what we really wanted to focus on was, there's a purpose in basketball, but if that purpose and what we work for doesn't go beyond basketball and become into the men that they are growing into be and who they are and the way that they love God and the way that they love each other and love others around them, then what we do on the basketball court is pointless and meaningless. I think these guys understood that. I think these guys show, at least in the way they care for each other, that they get that. And so hopefully they're going to keep not only playing basketball on purpose, but living on purpose as well. So great job this season. And again, I'm really, really proud of these guys and the way they kind of stepped up, especially after struggling last year with a lot of new players and a new system, a new coach, and all of that. And so it was really my pleasure this second year to be their coach again. And I stand up here, and I remember when I was in their position, and my coaches would be up here at the banquets, and they're getting kind of choked up as they're talking, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, why? I'm like, why are they so emotional? They spent the whole season just screaming at me, you know? Why? But I get it now because you know, we put a lot of time into it. They put a lot of time and work into it, and we really become a family. And so to see them all standing up here and to kind of celebrate the end of the season, it's an incredible thing and an incredible accomplishment as a team. But anyway, I do quickly. I want to recognize the seniors before we give out the awards. So the seniors, would you just take one step forward, right? All four of you guys, step. Yeah, let's give these guys a hand. We're missing one, but it's really been my pleasure. I coached all four. David Kim's not here, but I coached all four of the seniors this year, last year, and this year, and it was really a pleasure. The team would have been nothing what it was without these guys, and they've put a lot of hard work into this. They've led by example, and just really been there for the team now for 2 years, and so really, really proud of you guys and thankful for you. So let's give them one more. All right, so we'll go ahead and go with the awards. So I want to start with the Guardian Award. So the Guardian Award, you know, this young man shows a lot of humility on and off the court, and my experience with him over the last 2 years has always been very positive. I don't think he necessarily, from a statistical purpose, had the season that he had hoped for or wanted this year, but it in no way diminished the impact that he played on our team throughout the year. And one of the greatest impacts, single impact he made in a game was he scored a game-winning shot against SFS in the game here at home. And so the Coaches Award goes to David Kim, who is not here today. Sorry, that's the Guardian Award. Sorry. No, the Coaches Award. Yeah, excuse me. I'm going out of order here, so I confused myself. But yeah, so the Guardian Awards for David. The Coaches Award, this is a guy who was not only one of our leaders on the floor this year, but last year as well. Huge impact on the team for the last 2 years, and even before I got here, he's very impactful as a part of this program. He definitely leads by example. Always has a positive attitude. Even if things aren't going his way, he works hard. And so really appreciate him being a part of this team and the impact that he had. So the Coaches Award goes to Josh Tejo. And next is the Spirit Award. So Spirit Award, this is kind of the spiritual leader of the team, just in the sense that, he's the one that, not the only one, but definitely a young man that you can always count on. He'll do anything you ask of him. He's got a great positive attitude. I didn't often ask the guys to pray, but if I did, this was the guy that said, I'll pray. And that's huge, and we really appreciate his attitude. We appreciate his humility as well, and just the impact that he has on this team. So the Spirit Award goes to Sam Coe. And not quite finally, but this is the last award, and then I got one more thing I'm going to say. The MVP award this year, so MVP, you guys know what that is, goes without saying. We had one young man on this team that it was really hard to find time to rest him. He was another floor leader. He was our leading scorer. He led the team in steals. He was the one that we counted on to make a play when we needed a play made. Now, he couldn't do any of it by himself, and he's a great, incredible team player, and he's a guy that not only improved in his ability to play the game of basketball from last year to this year and throughout this season, but he also plays in a way that helps his teammates improve as well, and that's rare. You don't get that very much. In a player that's as talented as he is. And so we really appreciate that. And our MVP award this year goes to Corbin Rinsberg. All right, and last thing, and we're going to get off the stage and let the other guys go. I want to thank Ankit, who is here. Ankit put a lot of time and work. And if we had a Most Improved award, it would go to Ankit because the stats last year were not good. The stats this year were very, very good. So great job. And then thank you. And we also want to thank Isadora. Is Isadora here? If she's here, I should have got her to come up. Okay, Isadora's not here. I think she wanted to be the manager of the girls' team, and they already had to, and we only had Ankit, and so she happily stepped over and helped us out. So Isadora was a big help too. So we'll give her a quick round of applause as well. Thank you.
Josh just wanted more photos of himself. Yeah. This is a gun. Wait, you just came back. something.
So this is your first YIS varsity track and field team in YIS history. So, yeah. And before I talk just briefly about our season and give out our awards, I just wanted to give a huge thank you to my assistant coaches. It's been a pleasure to coach with people that have all trained me or could have trained me and have been phenomenal athletes themselves. So thank you so much to Coach Mom, Coach G, and Coach Paul Dwight. Let's give them a round of applause. As for track and field, it's a very diverse sport, so as well, it can't be done by one person. Even our athletes, you can see there's a lot of diversity. It's really hard to come up here and just give one or two awards to people because we have so many different skills and talents that come, and each of our coaches focused on training them in different fields. So just briefly to tell you a little background about our team, last year we were a startup club. There had been some teachers and coaches in the past that had helped some individual athletes compete unattached or for YIS, but this was our first year as a varsity sport. And I was a little bit sad, nervous at the end of last year because we lost our other coach and most of our athletes moved on. But if you were a member of that first club last year, could you go ahead and raise your hand so we can see? So we only had a couple returners, as you can see. And we had an amazing turnout for this year. Our girls team, we have no seniors, only one junior, and we're made up of mostly sophomores and freshmen. And with our boys, we only have 3 seniors, and the rest are all underclassmen. So you guys did a phenomenal job. Also, just a couple highlights. There's too many things to share of the whole season, but one of our things we talked about is total release performance and performing for a TR versus a PR, which stands for personal record. And that idea that when you show up on the track or the field, that if you hold back, if you don't totally release all of your talent, all of your skill, all of your efforts on that day, you will never achieve your full potential. You'll always miss out if you're afraid to totally release. And so these guys, a big part of that as well is doing that when no one's watching. And they have the unique challenge of going and competing on Humphreys every week where pretty much nobody gets to see them compete ever. And so it's just them. And we really became a family. Our season was a little bit backwards. We did ACSC as our first competition as a team and then moved on to the rest of our competition. And our girls took second there and our guys took third in our first ACSC ever. So let's give them a round of applause. Yeah. As well, I just wanted to acknowledge the Humphreys coaches and other base schools multiple times came up to me and said that they were watching out for our team, that they really loved the YIS athletes. They were so proud of them and that they really brought a unique dynamic to their league. So they, even though we didn't get to compete in the championships, they said that they believed, Humphreys told me they thought our girls would have taken second and beat them. So they did say that. I'm gonna move into awards as well. This is, it was very hard for us as coaches to choose this because again, you have people that are throwing heavy objects and discus, shot put, and you have people that are jumping into sand, people that are hurdling, running long distances. So how do you choose, a most valuable runner, et cetera? But as coaches, we tried to look at the improvement throughout the season. And for all you guys, I have something for each of you at the end, so don't leave yet, okay? So we'll start with our Spirit Award. I'm really thankful for both of these people. They just are very foundational and incredibly encouraging. They really embody the character of Christ to their teammates and to us as coaches. I'll go with the girls first. This athlete constantly was checking on me to make sure I was okay and telling me I was doing a good job and just always making sure that all of us were smiling and okay. And so this award goes to Mia Callahan. Okay. And for our guys, I'm really going to miss this athlete. I've been his teacher and his coach now for 3 seasons, and everybody that knows him just knows that he's got everybody's back, and I'm really proud of him and thankful for J-Ho. Come on up. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on to the Guardian Award now. This is supposed to be the athlete that represents our school best on and off the track and field. Starting with our girls, this person is just always full of energy, full of life, bubbly, willing to try anything. And I'm just so proud of her fearless, courageous nature on the track. And she hurdled through the whole season over all the obstacles. She was our star that came out. I asked her to run hurdles for the first time ever in a foreign country, and she dominated. So this goes to Gayun. Okay, and for our male Guardian Award, this athlete was constantly seen helping other athletes fix their blocks, learn how to do their handoffs better, constantly encouraging, involved with everyone's success. He's an incredibly talented athlete himself in every event. He ran the 400 for the first time and qualified for Far East, a very prestigious thing, and his first time ever to run the event. And also finished second in long jump at ACSC. And I'm just really thankful for you, Andy Kung, and what you brought to our team. Okay. Our Coaches Award. This award really goes to the athletes who's kind of been like the team captain or leader. And we have leaders in every different event. But for us, I'll start with the females. This athlete is incredibly resilient. She has amazing work ethic. She struggled with some injury, but she never let that get her down or get any of her teammates down. And I'm just very, very proud of the way that she led by example and verbally. We couldn't have done it without her. Proud of Jung-in. Come on up for the Coaches Award. And for males, this person is going to leave a big hole just at YIS in general, and I've coached him in cross country and track and field. I don't think I've ever met a more selfless person, someone who has the ability to make everybody else around him feel significant, special, and included, and a person that just continually strives to improve in anything he does. I know that he's going to continue to make an impact in the UK. So this award goes to Pratik. Okay. We're going to go ahead and go with our MVP. I struggled with this one. I even went to Coach Hale and was like, can I have an award for track and field? Like, they're two different things, you know, but I had to give it to one person. So just a little story about this athlete. Last season, they came out for the club, and there was 1 or 2 times that they walked off of the field because they didn't want to do the workout. And yes, true story. But this person is completely different person this season. I couldn't be more proud of the character that this person displays. He is humble, he is strong, he's encouraging, and I have seen him blossom into an amazing leader, and I'm so proud to be his coach, along with these other coaches that have seen this growth in him. And he dominated. He won every single competition in the shot put and discus in every competition that he competed in. This goes to Samson. Raw power. Okay. Yeah, guys, raw power. He got the reputation of raw power. Okay. There was a coach that came up to him and said, "You have raw power," and yeah, so it's just. And then finally, this last person I'm going to recognize tonight is it's a hard one for me because they are leaving next year. This athlete is incredibly talented, but more than that, she is constantly seeking to improve, and she's probably one of the sweetest, just most joyful runners that I've ever coached. I don't think I've ever seen her look like she's in pain through any workout I put her through. I'll tell her to run a certain split, and she'll do it the exact second every single time. Like, I don't know how she does it. She's an incredible athlete and runner, and she's going to continue to excel, and I'm truly going to miss her. It's been a pleasure. Linda, we love you, and you're our MVP for this year. So. And before we go down, I know I'm sorry I went over time too. I have boys and girls, so I get extra time. I want to go ahead and recognize our manager, Romy Kim. Go ahead and step forward. It's hard to be a track and field manager with lots of different things. You have to stand out there in the cold and like yell times and splits and record stuff for every single athlete. It's very individually designed, all the workouts, and so she was incredible in that. And we just love your positivity. We didn't get to have a senior day, so I'm going to go ahead and have our 3 seniors just step forward, and we have some flowers and posters for you. We're going to really miss these guys. And before we take our picture, I could say thank you to many, many people, but the other people I wanted to recognize are Mrs. Dwight, Colleen Dwight, and Mr. Swanson for being our voluntary team managers as well, and to Coach Hale for just supporting all of these ideas and making this possible. So thank you to everybody. Let's give them a round of applause.
Just tonight. I'm the only one I didn't let her.
Sorry, I'm sure.
Alrighty, well, this is your fun, loving, big, energetic swim team. I had the privilege a week ago to speak to them individually at our swim team party, to speak to each one individually, or about each one individually. So I'll try to keep this short and sweet, kind of like our season. Well, our season wasn't that short, but it was very sweet. As you can see, we had a very successful season. We'll start out with the summary. At the A-B meet, which is our mid-season championship, that's the first time that we get to see the other swimmers from the other schools, and it's the exact same event and format as the kayak tournament. Our team scored a combined 769 points, and we finished with a combined placement of 4th. And I was very pleased with it. I thought that the team did very well, and they performed pretty much what I expected them to do. So I made this bet with them. Our highest score ever as a combined team was in 2014 with 887 points, and that we got second place in 2014. So I made this bet. I said, if you get 888 points, I'll shave my head. I thought there's no way that they will get anywhere close to 888 points, and I'd be completely safe. Well, I'm running the scores table at the kayak championships, watching them go best time after best time after best time. After the first day of a 2-day meet, I started to kind of sweat it a little bit. And then they ended up with 880 points. As you can see, I still have my hair, but it was the second best ever performance in YIS history by our swimmers, and it's a fantastic job. Yep. With that 880 points, they jumped both KIS and SIS, upsetting them by very narrow margins to get second as a combined team, and those teams were a little stunned that we were able to do that. The most proud achievement of the season is always winning the Spirit Award. And the Spirit Award, to echo what the coaches have been saying all evening, the Spirit Award is not something that is a reflection of the loudest team or the team that cheers the most or the team that has the most clever cheers or anything like that. The Spirit Award is ultimately a reflection of where your purpose lies. And this team, after every meet, they circle up, they sing a song, they lift up their performances in a worshipful manner, and the other teams recognize that. And by awarding us, ironically, the other teams are also recognizing God in an ironic way. And I think that's something that's unique and very cool. I want to thank, before I hand out the individual awards, I want to thank the coaches, Coach Stallings and Coach Ha. They were amazing. I want to thank our team manager, Allison Ree. She was awesome, helped us out in so many ways. I want to thank the swim moms. Our swim moms are incredible. And my wife, Kristen, who handles our 3 mascots, Titus, Axon, and Isaac, and she takes about 500 pictures at every meet of our swimmers. And she deals with me, too. So first, I'm going to start out with the Spirit Award. The Spirit Award is the swimmer who embodies the character of Christ. For the girls, this swimmer embodies the love of Christ. I think that's the character that stands out most, as she is always waiting at the end of every swim, whether the swimmer did well or did amazing. She's waiting to greet them with a big hug and love them. This is Rachel Kim for the girls. The Spirit Award for the boys, this individual had a rough and disappointing season because he was injured and he was not able to actually swim. And while he came and did dry land workouts, and we have this awful machine that you have to lay on, and it's a swim machine. It's kind of like a treadmill for swimming, and it's miserable to not go anywhere. He did more hours on that swim machine than anyone else has done so far this year, And he also, when he finished those workouts, he would then start to serve the team in a managerial type role, filling up water bottles, helping clean up their equipment. So this individual definitely displays the selflessness of Christ, and that's Jorge Rios. The Guardian Award, for us, this award is the player who best represents the school, and these individuals are very proud to be YIS Guardians. For the girls, this individual cheered for everyone, not just our team, but for every single swimmer that was at the meet. She even cheered for my lifeguard. And she would cheer for anything that moved around the swimming pool. She had so much spirit, and that's Justine Wan. For the boys, this individual, I think, expels more energy while he's cheering, especially on relays, than he does even when he's swimming the relay. We have this awesome group of pictures that my wife took where she was actually she was taking pictures of the relay team members instead of the relays that was the person that was swimming in the water. And she was taking pictures of their reaction, and you can see every single emotion go across this individual's face as he urges his swimmer to the end. It goes from joy to agony to worry to joy again, and it's just amazing, and that's Ashton Kim. All right, so MVP. MVP is actually pretty simple for us to determine in swimming, and it's the individuals that score the most points at the conference meet and the championship meet. For the girls, this individual set 6 school records. She was the first swimmer in YIS history to win an individual event, to be an individual event champion at the kayak tournament, and she did it twice. And she was 8/100ths of a second away from doing it 3 times and she was 8/100ths of a second away from getting the kayak MVP. But your YIS Guardian swimmer MVP is Ji-Yu Shin. MVP for the boys. This individual had a rough start to the year. I believe he had surgery on his ankle, which kept him out of the water for a long time during the first semester. And then it's very difficult to kick after ankle surgery. I know because I had ankle surgery as well this year. But he swam really hard, trained really hard, and then had an awesome kayak tournament meet, setting a record in the 100-meter butterfly. He was a member of the boys' record-setting 200-meter freestyle relay, and that is Danny Kim. All right, Coaches Award, the leaders of the team. For the girls, our Coaches Award goes to an individual who leads by example. She attended more swim practices throughout this calendar year than anyone else up here. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, she was in the pool at 6 a.m. On top of that, she races extremely hard, and it's just amazing to watch a very coachable swimmer dedicate themselves and then see the fruit of all that labor. She had an amazing kayak championships, very narrowly missing all tournament, and that is Yeji Kim. Coaches Award for the boys. This individual was definitely the leader of our team. Fortunately, I've had the privilege of having him for all 4 years of his high school. Anytime that we needed something done, we needed the team to get organized, to circle up, he would be the first person that I would go to. I wouldn't have to yell as a coach and say, hey, start dry land. I just say, hey, Kenneth, can you start the team on dry land? And it was awesome having one senior that I could turn to that took charge and led the team by example and indeed as well. So that's Kenneth Yim. Yep. Thank you. All righty. Picture. Is it a song and dance?
Yeah. So we all signed it, and it's like your photo and your name and.
Thank you. Thank you.
We can sing too.
Where did this picture come from?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to get started here. This is your 2017 Yes Varsity Girls Soccer. Yeah. And I think for us, you know, at least the coaching staff, and I know for some of the players, you know, this season really began a lot of questions. And we were really curious how those were going to be answered. I'm not really a numbers guy, but I have some numbers for you. 7 is the number of starters we had lost from last season out of 11. We play with 11, just FYI. We had graduated the spine of our team, arguably 5 of the most significant players we've had in our program. We had 8 returning players out of a squad of 20, 11 players that at the high school level, this was their first time playing soccer at the high school level. So with those numbers, you know, those are just numbers, but we were really curious as like, well, you know, what's this season going to be like? At the beginning of the year, we struggled with some of our opening friendlies, but we knew that this was a chance for us to grow and learn and figure things out, how we're going to play. After our friendly at KIS, I was shooketh, and I remember turning to Mrs. Creech and saying, well, if anything, we're going to see a lot of growth this year, and we have that to look forward to. But the kayak season started, and we were off to a flying start, and then spring break hit. And after spring break, you know, we hit some tough games, probably of our entire season, and we really had a decision to make. You know, trust in the group, trust in the process, continue to grow, stick together, you know, work hard on performance, and we knew like over time we were gonna find our stride, and then we did. We finished the kayak season with a 6-game undefeated streak, which was spectacular. It was the second longest undefeated streak in our program history, to my knowledge, with a key comeback tie against So in the rain. And we played lights out against SAS to close out this season on a high. And as all you coaches know, you're trying so hard to get all the pieces together, and you're trying to figure out how we can get we can be successful, and you want to prepare your players as best that you can, and you want them to fulfill their potential. When you have tough opposition, you really want them to experience success. But the sport of soccer can go many different directions. You can have a spectacular game, but maybe concede a goal on a set piece or something that's really small detail. It can be an unforgiving sport. But when you have a group that really starts to buy in, and you're just dying for them to experience that on the field, obviously also in life. So when it does happen, when they do put things together, you're ecstatic, you're full of joy, and you're so proud. And with this group, especially during that last stretch, we were able to see all the fruit and growth. And I think about those questions I asked myself at the beginning of the year, and I feel like you've answered so many of those, more than we ever expected. During one of the lunches, the girls were asking me, what are some of my highlights for the season? So here are some of them, and they're in no particular order. Bridget somehow psyching every player out during a penalty and saving a crucial one at Sauce for Yoonjung to score a goal at the death and nearly collapsing. Yoonjung's English Premier League level goal in the rain against SFS. Any of Sue's hat tricks. Our night celebrating our seniors, that was really special, and we had a fantastic game from the girls. Gina scoring the game-winning goal against Antipolo in the dying minutes to secure our first win of ACSC. Huge moment for a freshman to accomplish this. Hearing your Victoria Concordia Crescent cheer before each game, which is victory through harmony, that was our theme. Trying to get jacked for our 7:30 a.m. game at ACSC, which is about impossible until they played our song, Believer, which I will always associate with our team. Ultimately, when I think about this specific group in the context of the history of our program, I think of you as underdogs that grew and grinded together. It says fourth place up there, but this group tied for third on points and actually had a better goal differential. But the way kayak works, we lost on head-to-head, so you could see how close it was. And you had the second highest point total in our program history, and so that's something to be really thrilled about, in addition to the bright future in store. So before I transition to our awards, I just want to say a big thank you to our assistant coaches. All right. For just Coach Ike and Coach Scott and Coach Creech, just for being so supportive, flexible, understanding. There's a lot of things as players that we never see our coaches do, we'll never know about. And I also wanted to thank our manager, Tuan, who's, I don't know if she's here, but Tuan was incredible. She taped all of our ankles, even Salas sometimes. And she had a phenomenal attitude, filmed all our games, and just such a willing servant and example to our team. So thank you, Tuan. So yeah, I'll just transition to our awards.
All right, I'm going to present the first award, which is the most spirited. And this player, as they've said before, this player is a leader on the team spiritually, and I think one of the best ways you can do that is through encouragement. This is a member of our team who could be heard all over the field during every game. Even on the toughest games, when we were feeling defeated, we were feeling discouraged, you could hear her saying, okay, guys, we got this. We can do this. We can do this. At halftime when people would come off, she's like, no, it's fine. And she's kind. She has a constant smile on her face. Unfortunately, in the last game, she was injured. But even on the sideline, she was standing and screaming the whole time, cheering the whole team on. She's a strong defender, and we're excited for Gracie to get the Most Spirited Award.
Our second award is the Guardian Award, and this goes to the person who represents the school best on and off the field and who has the most pride in our school. Though this could have gone to so many of these girls, we felt that one girl represented this best. And this person is not the loudest player on the field, but she plays with her entire heart. and she led our team with grace and composure. When I think of her, I think of John 15:13, which states, "There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends." Now, while nobody died this season, this individual definitely sacrificed her bodies in more way than one, because she just loves the sports and she loves the school and her teammates. By the end of the season, she had a bad back, she had bad ankles, she had a bad head, she had a bad wrist. And she was so banged up during our ACSC tournament that she actually became a fourth coach. And that's really where we saw her school pride show up. And so the Guardian Award goes to our captain, Sydney Sanu.
Okay, for our Coaches Award, sorry. Being here for past 7 years, one of the things I enjoy the most is just being a fan. You know, it's when we go up to the field, I'm kind of more tense and a little bit stressed about the game. But when you get to go in the gym or you get to watch other sports, it's one of my biggest joys just to be a fan. And as I was watching just the past few years, you know, our students, our players, there was a couple that just really just jumped out, and I really just was so impressed with. And this was a girl, I was watching her play basketball, and it was kind of one of those things where, like, man, I wonder what it would be like to work with this athlete. This would be just incredible. Just really impressed me. And Sayla, if you ever end up playing soccer, I mean, when you play soccer one day, if you end up emulating this person, this player, I would be totally okay with that. This is someone who just puts her heart and soul into what she does. She's humble. She's a leader. She lets her actions and her game do the talking, and she's someone who inspires. And that's Sue Lee.
Sorry, I'm a little bit shorter than our other coach. I am going to be presenting the MVP award, and the MVP goes to someone who contributes the most to the success of the team as a whole. Being a team of 11 players, we need every single person, and we can tell by just the forwards, our midfields who are running up and down the line, our back in the defense, and our goalie, but there's someone who plays in the center. She plays center mid, who does a fabulous job of taking care of the team as a whole. This player is so integral, we don't ever pull her off the field. She's one of those players. She's also the most consistent player I have ever seen. It's really common for people to have a bad game, and it's normal. You know, sometimes we just have bad days, but this player I've never once seen have a bad day, and I don't know if that actually exists yet. She's incredibly positive and encouraging. She never seeks the spotlight, always playing as a team when passing the balls and giving credit to all the other players on the team. She isn't flashy or anything in how she plays. She accepts any form of criticism, which that happens very rarely, especially from me as a coach. She accepts all of the encouragement and support from her other teammates with such a quiet smile. I'm so proud that I was able to see this person play both in Bangkok and here in Korea, and that goes to Dora.
And just some last thoughts I wanted to share really quickly before we head out here. I told these girls I really hope one day they become coaches. I know some of them, that's definitely going to happen. It doesn't have to be soccer. But I wanted them to know that in several moments during our season, and for whatever reason, just because I believe that's who his nature is, but God provided these little glimpses for me to see you the way that he sees you. And there's a passage from the book of Psalms, which is where Selah gets her name, but the author is just praising God, and he's saying, Lord, I give thanks to you. I praise you because I know that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm so close. And it just ends, wonderful are your works, my soul knows it well. And my soul knows it well because of this. So thank you for this. Yeah.
You need to get closer.
So before we play every game, we come out and sing. Gentlemen, begin.
One, two, three!
Most of you maybe don't know me, and my name is Johnny Collins. I'm not a teacher here, so I accept cash. It's not against the school rule, from what I know, so cash is fine. Cash is fine. First, I just want to thank Mr. Daniel Hale for letting me coach this year. We graduated, or I didn't actually graduate because I was an awful student, but we went to the same university in the States, Liberty University. I played soccer there, and he actually studied and graduated from there. And then I know his father and know his brother, and there's some relationship, and this is what I do. I coach soccer. So I really wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to yell at these kids every single day. So I really appreciate it, Dan. Thank you very much. Next, I just wanted to thank my assistant coach. Like I said, I didn't graduate from university because I'm super lazy. So I don't like to do any paperwork or email whatsoever. So Coach Bethany Martins here was brilliant in doing all our paperwork, all our planning, making sure the players here don't bring their passports when we go travel down, things like that. So she was just like brilliant in what she did. So I just want to say thank you, Coach Martins. This is, in all the games that we had this year, we never had every single player. So if you look at the Bible and we look at Job, I was Job. Before the season started, I kicked 3 players off our team. We had a broken nose, a tear in an ACL, a tear in a thigh muscle or quad. It's been a very trying year. The Lord sent me a kid named Job from Thailand, so it's kind of like the same thing. I was blessed with Job from Thailand, who will be our starting goalkeeper next year. So this is my first time to do this, and I had a meeting with Coach Hale here, and I just, can I be me? And he said, don't insult anyone. So I am going to stop talking. And instead, I'm going to give the opportunity for my seniors to come up here and very, very briefly, because we do get 7 minutes, very briefly give a memory, what you had. So, Robert, you're up first. Come over here. Again, they didn't prepare anything. This is what I planned. So, Robert, 30 seconds. Give us the best memory that you've had this year.
Like, it was a great year for me. Like, I got playtime. Like I didn't really care like about like winning our conference or anything. I just wanted to play with the guys because I love this team so much, and it was a great opportunity. Yeah.
Good. Next is Josh. And again, the other coaches that we have here at US are amazing, but don't touch me. Josh, go ahead, 30 seconds.
Well, I mean, I guess my best memory is probably joining the team. I haven't played at all like before, and then I just joined this year, and it was pretty fun. So yeah.
Michelle.
My best memory of this season is getting coached by Coach Johnny, and I'm just, yeah, like, I don't know, I'm kind of jealous of the team next year because, like, I really saw Coach Johnny's impact on the team this year, and the results may not show, but I really feel confident that next year, if they work hard, that they can do well. So, yeah.
And the last one I found out today, his name is Andy. I've been calling him Popeye since the beginning of the year. So Popeye.
I really cannot choose a single minute I really liked. You guys are all my brothers. The one thing that I'll miss most about you is playing soccer with you guys. So thank you for the year.
So these are our 4 seniors. It's not noted up there, but at the ACSC and also kayak, we were awarded with Best Dressed. So that was pretty impressive for all of us as well. I'm sure all of you want to get out of here, so I'm just going to give out the awards now. This is kind of an inside joke, but our spiritual guy who converted all the time, tons of conversions this year, was brilliant, Brian Kim. Coaches Award, Mr. Michiel, come back and receive your Coaches Award. Get it from Coach Martins. Our Guardian Award is Popeye. And this year, our MVP, he broke his nose, he had surgery, he looks much better now, Jordan Hudson. So with the Lord's help, we are going to crush everyone next year. I am super excited to come back and destroy everyone and convert more people to Christ. It's going to be brilliant. So one last time, boys, in a circle, we're going to sing last time. If we have Glee Club varsity next year, we also will be part of that. Let's come in and sing.
Thank you once again, coaches and players, for great winter and spring seasons. A more complete rendition of that story, Coach Johnny, was after he asked if he could be himself. I said, yes, of course. Can you give me an example of what you're going to say? And he told me, and I said, well, I'll think that's funny. And some people will be offended. So anyway, thank you, Coach Johnny. We do have one more thing before we play the video, and that is to just recognize some coaches that are not returning to us next year. One of them is from the fall season, and so she is not here, and that is Miss Lindsay Powell. And I just want to recognize her as coming into a program that really needed some guidance, and she stepped into the cross-country program when it really needed a leader, and she provided really good foundation and leadership for some structure for that program, and really took it to another level, grew it. First shrunk it because she provided structure and some people didn't like that, and then grew it again. And I know the team is really going to miss her, and Coach Atkinson's really going to miss her, so recognize her. And this one of these gift bags are for her, even though I don't think she's here. Is she here? And the other two are for the Creeches, and I'm going to embarrass them as much as possible. So Creeches, can you guys come down to the front? Mrs. Creech has a long history with this program through multiple coaching staffs, and has never had the need to be at the helm of the program, and that really says a lot about her. She's completely satisfied being in a secondary role, because I think her heart is for her players, and she puts her heart in her players, and not to say anything, her knowledge of soccer, because I think she could have taken the helm at any point in her career here. But she was satisfied being where she was because her passion is for the students, and she poured her life into the students and, of course, her daughter as well. So thank you, Mrs. Creech, for all that you have done for the girls' soccer program here. And I'm a crier, and I don't have a team to cry over anymore. Mr. Creech, I'm glad you're going to be in the country. And I'm really mad that you're leaving. And our relationship is not one where we go and hang out on the weekends and we're big buds. But every time I talk to him, I feel like we're close. He's just that kind of presence. I know he is with everyone that he comes into contact with. And even though he's at the helm, he doesn't care about it that much. He is willing to do whatever is needed and has done so much here without asking for anything in return and without asking for any recognition. And YSS is going to miss the Creeches a lot, and I'm going to miss them a lot. And just want to thank you both from the bottom of my heart for all that you've done here. So thank you very much. Love you guys. Grab your bag before you go back, and we're going to end with the video. As soon as it's over, you're free to go out and enjoy some refreshments. Please pick up around you. Thank you very much.